In 1988, 19-year-old Tara Calico vanished into thin air while on a bike ride in New Mexico. Later, a chilling Polaroid was found showing a woman who resembled Tara Calico in a terrifying condition, which only sparked more fear for the fate of Tara. Could her disappearance be linked to something much darker than anyone could have ever imagined? Or is a possible cover-up the reason that Tara's disappearance remains unsolved? Welcome back to another episode of Hot on the Case. If this is your first time joining us for an investigation, here at Hot on the Case, we talk all things true crime with a focus on the unsolved and unexplained. If mysteries are your thing, please consider following the show, whether you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or watching the video version on YouTube. Don't forget to like, rate, and review the show because it really helps it out. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for being here. My name is Breanna, and I'm hot on the case. Tara Calico was born February 28, 1969 to her parents David and Patty. Tara is remembered for being athletic, intelligent, beautiful, and well-liked. She defied the typical stereotype of a popular, pretty girl, especially during the 1980s. Tara was known for her kindness, authenticity, and warmth, always making others feel welcomed. In high school, she went above and beyond to include those who were often left out. A friend of Tara's, named Melinda, described Tara as a friend to anyone, someone who would do the right thing even when no one was looking. In school, Tara always got good grades, and after graduating high school, Tara was accepted to the Valencia branch of the University of New Mexico with plans to study psychology. During her freshman year of college, Tara began dating an old high school classmate named Jack Cole. He was the captain of the football team. Him and Tara shared a lot of interests, which were like athletic interests, specifically outdoor activities, and the two were seen as like the wholesome all-American couple. As a child, Tara's parents divorced, and by 1988, Tara was living in Belen, New Mexico in Valencia County with her mother Patty, her stepfather John Dole, and her siblings. Belen is a suburb in New Mexico, and in the late 80s, it was described as that good old-fashioned small-town America where nothing bad ever happened and people looked out for each other. An area that was supposed to be safe, but has since been plagued with mystery and controversy after the disappearance of one of its best. At the time of her disappearance, Tara was 19 years old, she was a sophomore in college, and she was maintaining an impressive 3.9 GPA. She had the world at her fingertips and a promising future ahead of her, a future that was stolen from her in the blink of an eye after Tara seemingly vanished into thin air. On the morning of Tara's disappearance, she planned to go on a 36-mile bike ride, which was not uncommon for Tara, who was a skilled cyclist. Before Tara left for her bike ride, she asked if her mother Patty would pick her up on her normal route if she wasn't back by noon, because Tara had plans with her boyfriend to play tennis at 12:30. Tara left for her bike ride around 9:30 that morning. Tara had damaged her own bike tires earlier in the week, so she took her mother's bike instead. A distinctive hot pink Huffy brand bicycle with vibrant yellow cables and sidewalls. And as noon came and Tara never came home, Tara's mother stayed true to her promise and left to go pick up her daughter. Tara's mother was familiar with the route that her daughter took on her bike rides because she had often joined Tara on her bike rides in the past. However, she had recently stopped accompanying Tara after becoming paranoid that someone might be following and stalking them. Patty suggested that Tara start carrying mace on her bike rides, but Tara refused, feeling like her mother was being overly cautious and worrying for no reason. Patty set out on her daughter's usual route alongside Highway 47 to look for her. She drove the familiar stretch of road by the railroad tracks, but there were no signs of Tara. She drove the entire length of highway, back, forth, and back again, hoping to spot her daughter with no luck. Panicked, Patty returned home hoping that she had just missed her daughter and Tara had already returned home, but Tara was not home, and the pink bicycle was not back in the garage. Patty called the Valencia County Sheriff's Office to report her daughter missing. And as soon as the authorities were notified, the search for Tara Calico began. Investigators scoured her usual bike route both by land and air. Search dogs were even brought in to try and track any trace of her. They even began canvassing the area for any motorists who might have seen something, hoping for any small clue that could lead to Tara's whereabouts. The next day, a breakthrough. Search teams found tire marks and skid marks off the side of Highway 47. Nearby, they reportedly discovered footprints, which led to the discovery of one of Tara Calico's cassette tapes, and also pieces of broken plastic from the front window of her Walkman that was found amongst littered beer cans. But that wasn't all. It's been reported that the rest of Tara's broken Walkman was found in the remote mountains, 20 miles from where the first clues were found. Had something terrible happened to Tara alongside that stretch of road? As the investigation continued, witnesses began to piece together Tara's last known movements. One witness recalled seeing Tara riding her bike, listening to her Walkman, headed towards the direction of her home around 11:30 in the morning. Everything seemed normal. And then, about 15 minutes later, another witness saw Tara riding her bike only a few miles from her home this time, still listening to her Walkman, but this time, something was different. A white Ford pickup truck with a camper shell was seen following her, closely trailing behind. The truck didn't seem to be in any hurry, and it didn't seem like Tara noticed it at all. Then, just a short while later, another witness saw Tara, only 2 miles from her home this time. And once again, the same white pickup truck was following her. Tara was alone, focused on her ride and her music, oblivious to the vehicle trailing behind her. Could this truck have something to do with Tara's disappearance? Did the driver have a role in what happened to her? It's been reported that more than one man was in the pickup truck that was following Tara. The driver has been described as a white man between the ages of 35 and 45. He was about 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, with red hair and wrinkles in the corner of his eyes. A police sketch was made. Tara's case was treated as an abduction from the very start, and no one could figure out what happened to her next or where Tara could be. Months would pass without any major breakthroughs, and the search for Tara Calico seemed to grow colder with each passing day. Her friends, families, and investigators were left with more questions than answers. But soon, a terrifying discovery would change everything. Nearly 5 months after Tara Calico disappeared, a crucial piece of evidence was discovered, one that would send shockwaves through the entire investigation. A woman in Port St. Joe, Florida, nearly 1,400 miles from where Tara disappeared, was walking through a local convenience store parking lot when she stumbled upon something that would haunt this case forever: a Polaroid photo. The photo was disturbing, showing a young woman and a boy, both with black duct tape covering their mouths. Both of them appeared to have their wrists bound behind their backs. The photo appeared to have been taken in the back of a windowless white van. The woman who found the photo immediately brought it to the authorities, and she reported that a windowless white van had driven out of the parking lot. Were the two captives shown in the photo still in the back of that white van as it drove out of the parking lot? The only details that the witness could remember about the driver of the white van was that he was a man, he was middle-aged, and he had a mustache, which is unfortunately what pretty much every guy looked like in the 80s. The Polaroid was broadcasted across the entire nation, and very quickly, those who were familiar with Tara Calico's disappearance or even knew her personally recognized the missing teenager to the woman in the photo that was found all the way on the other side of the country. Tara's own mother, Patty, even believed that the girl in the photo resembled her missing daughter, and she became even more convinced that the girl in the photo was her daughter when she got a closer look at it. When Tara was a young girl, she was in a car accident which left her injured and left her with a permanent scar on her leg, the same scar in the exact same place as the woman in the photo. Also, laying next to the bound woman is a paperback copy of the novel My Sweet Audrina by the author V.C. Andrews, which is reportedly a favorite book by the favorite author of Tara Calico. An analysis conducted by Polaroid confirmed that the film used to take the photo was only available for purchase starting in May of 1989. This means the photo could not have been taken any earlier than a month before it was discovered. But there was still another huge mystery within this photo. Who was the young boy? As the image circulated, another family from New Mexico came forward, believing the young boy in the photo was their missing son, Michael Henley. Michael Henley, aged 9, vanished on April 21, 1988 during a hunting and camping trip with his father in the Zuni Mountains of New Mexico. He vanished from their campsite only 5 months before Tara Calico disappeared. This added another chilling layer to this case. Was there a serial kidnapper lurking in New Mexico? Could this Polaroid be linked to human trafficking? The Polaroid was sent to 3 different labs for analysis to see if the woman in the photo was really Tara Calico. The Scotland Yard concluded that the woman in the photo was Tara Calico. However, the Los Alamos National Laboratory disagreed, believing it was not her. The FBI's analysis was inconclusive. They just weren't sure. In the months following the initial discovery, more Polaroid photographs surfaced, showing a bound and gagged woman that resembled missing Tara Calico. In June 1989, a photograph was found near a construction site in Montecito, California. The image was blurry, showing a woman's face with duct tape over her mouth. Behind her, a light blue and white striped fabric was visible, which resembled the pillow seen in the original Polaroid. Tara's mother, Patty, believed this woman to be her daughter. Then, in February 1990, another Polaroid emerged, depicting a woman loosely bound in gauze, sitting next to a man on an Amtrak train. Tara's mother was uncertain if this woman was her daughter, and many considered this photo to be a sick prank, but of course we can never be sure. And then in June of 1990, Michael Henley's remains were found nearly 7 miles from the campsite where he vanished from only 2 years prior. It appeared that he had wandered off from his campsite and passed away from exposure to the elements. And this discovery confirmed that Michael Henley was not the boy in the Polaroid, and now the public was very confused. People started questioning if Tara was even the woman found in the photo. People compared the woman in the first Polaroid to Tara Calico, pointing out differences such as their eyebrow shapes. However, it's important to consider that someone that has been held captive for months wouldn't have access to personal grooming tools like tweezers or eyebrow gel. Despite all these chilling clues, the case would go cold once again. And then in 2008, Rene Rivera, a Valencia County sheriff who joined the department the year after Tara went missing, claimed to know what happened to Tara Calico, and that he knew exactly who was responsible for it. His theory was that 2 teenage boys were messing around in their pickup truck that morning, and they hit Tara Calico on her bike, either by accident or on purpose. This caused Tara to lose control and fall off her bike, and the teenage boys kidnapped her and killed her to stop her from going to the authorities. Rene Rivera also claimed that other people helped these boys dispose of Tara's body and that Tara was buried somewhere in Valencia County. And although he claimed to know who was responsible, he said that there just was not enough evidence to convict them. And this was a bold claim, considering that the sheriff has no evidence and he wouldn't even release any details about this crime, who was involved, or any of the suspects' names. But the sheriff's theory was later backed up after Tara Calico's original case files became a public record. 2 separate individuals did interviews with the sheriff's office, and they both had the exact same story, that a group of local teenagers had confessed to them that they hit Tara off her bicycle the day she vanished so they could kidnap her, essay, and then kill her. Most of the alleged suspects' names were omitted from the official record, but locals in Valencia County claim that all the alleged suspects have since passed away. There's also a lot of rumors that the sheriff's office knowingly covered up the murder of Tara Calico because one of the accused was actually the sheriff's son. But this is all hearsay, and allegedly, the son of the sheriff was actually cleared of any suspicion, but that is exactly what you would expect to hear if there really was a cover-up. And then in May of 2023, there was an interesting and confusing update to this case. It has been widely reported in literally every reporting of Tara Calico's disappearance that one of her cassette tapes and her broken Walkman were found. But in May of 2023, the Valencia County Sheriff's Office claimed that Tara Calico's cassette tape and Walkman were never found and that this was widespread misinformation. This is really, really confusing to me, and honestly, I'm not quite sure what to make of this update. And then just about a month after that, in June of 2023, the Valencia County Sheriff's Office called a press conference and claimed that they knew what happened to Tara Calico and they knew who was responsible for it. But they would not be sharing any other information until they got the green light from the district's attorney's office that they could move forward with pressing charges against their suspects and move forward towards prosecution.
We know there have been numerous theories about what happened to Tara. To preserve the integrity of the investigation, we cannot reveal all that has been learned. But rest assured, investigators have followed up on all theories, leads, and tips. When we can share case updates or information, we will do so directly to the community through the official channels. At this time, law enforcement believes there is sufficient evidence to submit this investigation to the district attorney's office for review of potential charges.
And that was well over a year ago, and we have received no other updates or information, which has come with a lot of backlash. People are upset. They want closure. They want to close the book on this 35-year-old mystery. People are confused why the sheriff's office keep telling us that they know who's responsible, but that's it. They won't tell us anything else. One thing I will say in defense of the sheriff's office is I'm sure if the DA is going over all the case files to see if there's enough information to actually prosecute these suspects that they claim to have, that there is over 3 decades worth of case files that they need to go through, which could explain the delay in updates. But, I totally understand everyone's frustration, especially the loved ones of Tara Calico, and hopefully there will be an update soon. In a case with more questions than answers, this update has left us with just one more unanswered question. In 1998, Tara Calico was officially declared dead and her death was ruled as a homicide. But even after Tara was declared dead, her mother Patty never gave up hope that her daughter Tara was still alive and would one day come home. When Patty and her husband moved to a new home, she created a bedroom for Tara, keeping her daughter's belongings intact in hope that one day Tara would walk through the front door. But tragically, Tara never came home, and her mother Patty passed away, never receiving the answers that she was hoping to get. And to this day, Tara Calico and her mother's hot pink bicycle have never been found. So what do you think? Do you think the Polaroids found are really linked to Tara Calico's disappearance? Do you think that she's the woman in the photos? Who was the boy? Or were these photos just some sick, cruel prank? Was Tara Calico the victim of a serial kidnapper, possibly sold into human trafficking? Could she still be out there, alive? Or was Tara killed the day she vanished in a hit-and-run cover-up? Let me know all your thoughts and theories in the comments below, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure that you subscribe, follow, like, comment, rate, and review the show wherever you're watching. And until then, I will see you guys next week when we are hot on the case once again.